And a very good morning this Tuesday, May 21st, day number 443 of the never-ending 14-day flatten the curve state of emergency. This is Vinny Maletti here with Maletti Law. Speaking to you in what seems to be my actual office, which seems to be my car. Interestingly, for the record, I actually have a lot of really nice podcast stuff at my home office. But I never seem to find time to podcast. So this is my preferred method of speaking to everybody. So here we are. At some point in time, it'll be more professional. It'll involve better quality audio and podcasts and whatnot. But for now, I'm just going to be ranting in my car. Okay, so real quickly, just a couple things for the day. Exciting things. Number one, recently what's really hot right now is the Delta-8 stuff, right? Really hot. I mean, you cannot get two consistent pieces of law on that, no matter where you look. So if you look at the Controlled Substances Act, if you look at the Farm Bill 2018, it doesn't define, marijuana is out of it. There's no definition of that. So technically, marijuana should be decriminalized and it should be legal, and any of its derivatives should be legal. It's supposed to have adjusted the Controlled Substances Act. The Controlled Substances Act puts some definition of what's a controlled substance for marijuana, and it mentions that it has to be greater than something like 3% THC or something like that. So what's interesting is then the FDA came out and said, the DEA came out and said, we can't have that. I mean it looks like we can't do anything about this Delta-8 because it's less than 3%. So let's go ahead and have this orange sheet and just list it on the orange sheet. So you have the Farm Bill, which decriminalizes it, which takes marijuana off of it. Then you have the Controlled Substances Act, which mentions the 3% marker, which Delta-8 falls under the 3% marker. Then you have the orange letter, the orange note that the DEA produced and published that mentions specifically Delta-8. So the Fed's all backwards, all upside down on it. Then you have state law. New York apparently decriminalized marijuana if you use it in the street, smoke pot, get high in the street, decriminalizes it, but it's illegal but they specifically banned Delta-8 in New York. So that's weird. So if you wanted to get it legally and use something legally, that's banned, but if you wanted to get it illegally, that's cool because it's decriminalized. Are we following how it works in New York City? This state and city has been retarded for years, and it's never going to get any better. But understand the inconsistency here. How, as a business, how as a human being, how do you plan? How do you plan for anything? You just can't, because there's so much inconsistency everywhere, and everybody's all back and forth with everything that I can't even. And keep in mind, what's really funny is, people will bash the moral conservatives, I guess, the moral crusaders about banning pot and everything like this. Keep in mind, New York is a completely left-wing state, completely left-wing. So this comes from those progressive left-wing people. So politics out of it, okay? This is just weird and inconsistent law. It makes no sense whatsoever. I have no idea what to do. What I would just suggest, if anybody was interested in it, just register your business, begin your business in a state that, essentially doesn't look at little marijuana treasons. I would assume something like Florida is good, or probably, I guess Florida is a good place. I would guess somewhere like Colorado is a good place. Those kind of places are probably better off if you want to run your business there. At least, they don't make a really great aggressive push toward criminalizing and penalizing people for that stuff. So, that's probably where I would move. That's probably where I would do my businesses. But it's just very inconsistent. It's very difficult to plan, very difficult to understand. And it's funny because, it's great for lawyers, right? Because we can make a fortune, because you have the law that goes both ways. So nothing makes sense. Nothing is consistent. But, except the inconsistency is consistent. But, I don't know. As a business, what do you do, right? How do you plan? I guess you just do it. You just do what you got to do. You make sure you protect yourself in the company. You have a lot of corporate formalities to shield yourself from liability. You make sure you run your corporation in a state that's, pro marijuana, decriminalized marijuana, drug friendly. It doesn't have a lot of marijuana enforcement or whatever, you know, you would start there. I mean, that's it. You would go from there. That's the only thing I can think of. Because, I mean, it's just very, like, if you were looking for, like, solid, consistent laws, then you're going to be doomed. I mean, but I guess like any business, right? You got to be able to accept the uncertainty, because that's very important. You know, as a business owner, you got to be able to understand that your business is going, every day you wake up is going to be uncertain, right? You could make no money one day, and then one day you can make a ton of money. So, I mean, I guess just the nature as being a business owner is being comfortable with uncertainty. So, well, I mean, if you're looking for uncertainty, there's definitely no better than here, this area law, that's for sure. All right, so I don't know. I guess that's the only public service announcement for today. I feel like I had other things I wanted to rant about, but I guess not. Or maybe they're just not that important right now. But, you know, and I'm looking in the video. For those of you that are going to comment on the bird shit on the roof of my car, see right up there? I still got that bird shit. That bird shit's been up there for days, people. So, make sure you mention it in the comments below. Peace.